To hear past episodes of the Rap Radar podcast, what they got to do, B-Dot?
You got to sign up for Tidal at tidal.com/onair.
Yeah, that'll get you a 90-day complimentary membership.
Access to 50 million tracks and 200,000 videos.
Tidal.com on air. Yeah, Rap Radar podcast, Elliot Wilson.
It's B-Dot.
B-Dot, what's up, baby? Bad boy for life?
Of course, man. But right now, we're with the hottest producer in the world.
He called himself the sauciest white boy in the game.
I'm the sauciest white boy. I don't know. Best producer, that's for the fans to decide. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you hot out here, though.
We hot.
Quavo called it in 2013.
Yeah, we definitely hot.
Murder Beats is here. What's up, Murder? What's up, baby?
Man, I'm just chilling, you know what I'm saying? Beautiful weather, LA.
The chain is looking lovely.
Thank you. Both chains?
Both chains,
Two
man.
chains.
Ice trade a game, man.
2 chains. I'm going to need 3 chains, man, you know? Shut up, my boy Tit.
But the magic number is 4, man. 4 weeks at number 1.
Mm-hmm.
Nice for what?
Yep. Nice
So that
for
comes
what?
from the mind of Murder Beats. Like that's a really atypical, Lauryn Hill sped up bounce. Like how does that song come together?
I just feel like music needed a record like that. I feel like it was like very refreshing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And even for like a lot of like older hip hop people, like, you know what I'm saying? It just like brought like, I feel like the young generation and new generation together to like fuck with one record. Cause a lot of people nowadays are like, oh, like I fuck with these hip hop people. I fuck with these old heads. I don't fuck with these new guys. You know what I'm saying? So just like classic Drake, Young Murder on like, you know what I'm saying? Old school record, put it all together. You know what I'm saying? It was a crazy record.
But why Lauryn Hill?
Actually, so we were chilling at Drake's house. We were playing 2K, and we came up with the idea to get like a female artist, to sample a female artist. So I asked my manager Corey, I'm like, yo, what do you think? Like, well, he's like X Factor, and then Drake was like, oh, what part? And then like we picked the part, chopped it up. I made the beat when he was playing 2K. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
He playing this like my player and all that shit. He like, this shit fire. You know what I'm saying? Like, boom, made the beat right there, and then he sat there, wrote the shit in front of me, cut the shit in front of me, and then
Drake did.
we had the shit done in like beat and song probably like hour and a half, and then I think he finished like the second verse later on.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was like that was in Toronto and stuff too.
Yeah.
So
you
that's
from
not
Canada,
yeah.
Canadian boys
but
really
it's
getting
not
in.
it's not often where like I'll sit with an artist and like make a lot of records in person.
Yeah.
With
From
a
beginning
Canadian,
to end.
with a Canadian artist. You know what I'm
Yeah, yeah.
saying? So I feel like that was a special moment. Like I've made like a lot of beats in Canada. You know, I made like the motorsport beat at my boy's crib.
Yeah. You said little Bose speakers and all
Yeah,
that.
you
right?
know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So like, yeah.
But the whole bounce feel of it, like it's such an atypical sound. Like, I mean, you're a master of drums and all that, but just the fact that it's such an homage to like the New Orleans sound, right? That bounce where he's from, with Wayne being the guy who helped put Drake on, obviously.
Yeah, see, I don't know. I just do my thing and put the murder sauce on it, and then that's just how it figures out to be, you know? Like, even like when we made With You on Views, it's like I was with Party and like we were like cooking up and stuff, and I didn't even know I was making an Afro drum beat. Like, With You on Views with Party and Drake. I didn't even know I was making an Afro drum beat. And I just like, you know what I'm saying? I was just making some hard shit, and it just sounded fire. I thought it was like some dance song or whatever. But he's like, yo, I don't even think you even know you're making Afro drum.
Right.
I'm like, damn, that's crazy.
But then people look at you like you're the sauciest white boy, but you're also like the ultimate trap music producer in a sense, right? Like, does that title or that type of like, tag bother you at all? Like, that maybe it's limiting at times to be like, this is a trap producer.
It doesn't bother me, but I don't want to be like boxed in. You know what I'm saying? Like last year, you can ask anyone. Last year in the industry, I was telling everyone, I'm like, yo, I want to have the biggest pop record with Selena Gomez and have the biggest underground record out at one time. So a year later, at the same time I had a #1 with Drake, I dropped Bless Your Trap and Smoke Perp.
Yep.
So I'm
As
covering
underground
all
as you can
grounds,
get,
you know what I'm saying? Like, that's how I want to be, and that's how I want my whole career to be. I want to be able to touch all age groups, all genres of music, you know what I'm saying? And just like be a real producer and show people how to like actually be a producer, not just like make beats and like send beats through email, get a couple here and there, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right.
So you pay so many dues. I wonder, like, with the Smoke Perp thing, and like, I know you were saying, like, obviously there was a lot of trend of like a producer and MC getting together, right? But it seemed like you really was embracing it more. Like, I felt like you guys were really forming a real rap group. You know what I mean? Like the way you were carrying yourselves.
Nah,
like,
yeah, for real.
You know,
nah.
like, was that
around
a
New
reason
York.
to put yourself like in the forefront? You know, because you've done so much behind the scenes.
Yeah, you know, like, I don't know, like, I'm definitely, like, more of a guy that's, like, I want to be, like, I want you to know who Murda is, you know what I'm saying? That's how I've always been. Like, when people are coming up on Twitter, like, producers and stuff, they usually, like, don't show themselves and shit, and, like, that's, like, at an early age, I was, like, 16 going to Chicago, You know what I'm saying? I was
Trying to
like,
find Chief
I was
Keef,
like,
right?
I found, yeah, I found the Migos 17 years old in Atlanta. Like, you know what I'm saying? Off of social media and shit. They're like, oh, is this the white boy? Like, you know what I'm saying? Coaching them, like, yo, we need to fly you out. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man.
Right.
I don't know.
Getting back to Nice for What with the sample, were you a fan of Lauryn Hill's music prior to getting into that record?
I fuck with her music. I never like grew up with it. You know what I'm saying? Because like coming from my background, I grew up around like classic rock and like rock music and stuff like that. So I feel like that's what gives me like a different edge on like producing as well, because I just have like that different like a lot of trap producers and a lot of producers in my lane right now come up on like jazz and blues and like soulful music and stuff like that, and I came up on like rock music. So I feel like that's what gives me an advantage on my drums and stuff.
Right.
So
Did she have to give it her blessing for the record too?
yeah, she did.
Yeah, she did a little remix at one of her shows. Was that the Apollo?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout
What do
out
you think
Lauryn
about the way Drake approached the record lyrically? Because I saw some people like he was even trying to be critical of saying like that track is just so like dope as an instrumental. Like anybody could have, like a lot of MCs could have won with that track. Why do you think the way Drake navigated that track was the perfect?
Well, one
way?
thing is though is if me and Drake weren't together, that beat would have never been made. And that's for a lot of music too. That's what people got to understand. Even like people like curate vibes. Like me and you might go in the studio right now, and I might make it hit in front of you, and it might be fucking Hove's next single. You know what I'm saying? But if you weren't there, that beat would have never been made. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So people got to remember that too. It's like people bring the vibe, and just like me and Drake being together sparked that energy to make a record like that.
Yeah.
Did you know it was gonna go number one?
We knew it was gonna be like honestly, like I think yeah, like that's just, like, I'm dead serious too. That's just actually crazy. Like when we made this, he's like, this is one of them. I was like, yo, like this is that shit. Like this ain't no trap. This
Right.
ain't no, you know what I'm saying? This isn't like I like hitting people like with a left. I'm left-handed, so I like hitting people with a left jab. You know what I'm saying? Because like even like the With You thing, like when they dropped that Views track list, everyone's like, oh shit, man,
That's gonna
Drake
be
got
hard, yeah.
Trap beat, you know what I'm saying? And then they drop that shit, and they're like, what the fuck is this shit? Like some people were confused, some people didn't like it, some people were like, oh, this is amazing.
But what is it like being behind like this? Also, the way Drake played the angle of it with the lyrics and even the visual, like such like a woman empowerment type of vibe to it.
Hey man, shout out to Drake, man.
You
know what
love
I'm
the
saying?
ladies.
Yeah, you know, like I don't know, like the ladies love motorsport, the ladies like Nice for What. The ladies are gonna love my album when it comes out. Like, you know what I'm saying? I have records. I don't know.
Was it his idea to put Big Frito on it, or was it yours?
His.
Oh, okay.
Bro, this guy's a genius.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what's it like? Because I mean, with Views, that was the first time you really started connecting. Like, you did Portland too, obviously.
Right.
Like,
Flukes.
I did Portland,
Long
no
Talk.
long talk, no shopping.
yeah, the whole drop comes from Baca, right?
Yeah,
Baca's the
shout out
homie.
Baca. That's how we really tapped in. You know what I'm saying? Like we kind of like in the clubs with Baca all the time. Like, yo, man, you should be a rapper. Like, you know what I'm saying? Me, Gilla, and my manager, we're like, yo, you should be a rapper.
You put the
Got this
battery in
guy-
Baca's
got,
back?
got this guy in the studio, and like, you know what I'm saying? He was just like amped up, one of those guys that's always like pumped up and shit. And like we started making music with him and stuff, going to the club, being like, yo, you can go to the club and play your music instead of just like turning up and shit, right?
Yeah.
Started going to the club playing his music, and one day on a song he said, Baca, aka Not Nice, Murder on the beat, so it's not nice. And Drake was really fucking with that from there. So then, you know what I'm saying, that's where I got the tag from. And I think even the first person I asked was Sonny Digital too in Toronto. I was like, yo, I played him the song. I'm like, yo, what do you think if I like use it as a tag? Because I just had the Momo Murder, and he's like, hey man, you never know, man, you should try it out one day. I was like, you know what I'm saying, shout out Sonny Digital.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was literally the first time that I really like thought about using the Baca tag too. So
Yeah. So when did you first really get to work with Drake? With Portland joint, I guess? Like, when did you guys really first lock in?
after With You, that's when like we started to like kind of like more like he invited me to his house and he played me Back on Road and No Shopping in like one sitting. And I was like, holy shit, like, you know what I'm saying? I think we were going to watch like a Raptors game or some shit. He's like, yo, come to my crib or whatever. Played me those two records. So I was like, damn, shit crazy, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So salute the sixth god, you know? Going crazy out here, snapping.
Yeah, I saw you say
breaking
something
record.
like, obviously him being the biggest and from Canada, like, so many dope producers are from Canada.
Yeah.
But like I think I saw an interview you were saying like let's not get complacent though. Like we have an opportunity right now where Drake's at this position. Like we have to go for it. Like we can't just get comfortable. Like that the vibes with Toronto producers that we have to go out there and get it right.
Yeah, and then just like not even producers as well. Like I feel like artists, like there's such like a crazy underground music, like music base right now in Toronto that's like needs to be more capitalized on. Like there's so many like talented artists. Like you guys know a few, like like Pressa, you got like
Yeah,
Achilles, you got like Prime Boys, you got like a bunch of people, right? And I just feel like people just gotta like learn to use the resources more and just like really pipe up the whole scene, And the whole thing, like like we're from a different country too. So if I get arrested right now for like some dumb shit, I can't come back to the States for 5 years. That's something I had to risk coming up. You know what I'm saying? Being around all these hood rap stars, trap stars in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? That was a lot to risk.
Yeah.
So it's like people got to figure out how to capitalize that and like monetize the industry more on the underground standpoint in Toronto.
And it seems like you talk about capitalizing and monetizing. You're from Canada, but you just blindly went to Chicago and trying to get in it.
Yeah, yo, honestly, I wouldn't tell any of like I wouldn't tell a lot of people to do what I did.
But
I was
16.
Yeah, like I don't know.
Did you
my
know
mom was
anybody
scared. I knew I hit up some people on the internet. went down to the 100s. Like
So
I
wait,
was
so take
wildin'.
us through. You land in like Chicago O'Hare, right?
Yeah.
How do you
Went
even know? How
downtown
do you even know
to
how to
the,
go to like the hood?
The red roof inn, red some shit hotel. Fucking had some guys like I was like some people that were around Chief Keef at the time. They picked me up, took me here, blah blah. These other guys scooped me, went downtown, went shopping, went to the water tower, saw that shit for the first time. Then went down to the Wild 100s and shit. Yeah, shit was pretty crazy. Like I wouldn't tell no way. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know.
But you were just like on the internet and like had discovered the whole drill music thing was
Yeah,
popping.
and I built relationships with some guys that like I could trust, and like when I went out there, they had me, they took me around, took me to exclusives, like I did all that shit. You know what I'm saying? So.
But by yourself, you didn't roll with anybody from with you by
know?
yourself.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So
what was Chief Keef like? I mean, I don't know if I ever give him his due. Like he's such a legend in certain sectors. Like, did he live up to the hype of working with them and getting to know that whole scene?
Yeah, well, I feel like Chief Keef, like the whole like drill music scene that he created, and like I feel like he even just like birthed the whole like ignorance of youth rap. Like, I feel like a lot of shit wouldn't be happening right now if it wasn't for him, right? And especially the Migos too. I feel like the Migos and Chief Keef are like the top influential people of like right now in music, like overall.
Right. But from Chicago, you moved to Atlanta. You like live with the Migos,
No,
right?
I stayed. I like went to Chicago. Cause some people on the internet, they said I lived in Chicago. I went to Chicago.
Little
just
visit.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I did not move to Chicago
Okay.
from Canada at 16 years old.
Okay, just
You know what
making
I'm saying?
sure.
Going to live in the wild, no. You know what I'm saying? But then when I was like, yo, I need to get my music into the Atlanta music scene. Like I felt like it was like the presence of just being in Atlanta and just getting your music out there is so strong, right?
Right.
And it's such an important part of music. So that's when I found these guys, the Migos, on live mixtapes before they blew up. I'm like,
On
yo,
live mixtapes.
these guys are fire. Like at first, like I was listening to their shit and I'm like, this shit's so different. I honestly, I didn't know if I liked the music at first, but I was like, yo, like this is so different. Like I know this is gonna be something
special,
Like-
unique about
like
it.
I felt like I caught a wave before it was the wave. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You remember what song it was that you heard?
It might have been like even like No Label, like Pax, Lean Like This, some shit, like some like way back, like the old No Label, you know what I'm saying? And then like I started like fucking with them. I used to have like this like little method I'd do on Twitter. If I wanted to hit up Elliot Wilson, I'd type in Elliot Wilson and find like your cousin and hit up your
Find a
cousin.
Yeah,
to
you heard
cut-
like a Skipper the Flipper. they
Yeah,
say,
you
right?
know what I'm saying? So like that's why I did. I'd type in Migo and I'd see all the Migo guys. And then I just hit up Skipper the Flipper, you know?
And you was like, yo,
Migo
Skipper the
Flipper.
Flipper, you can have any beats you want. Just
I'm
play
like,
that
yo.
shit for Quavo
I'm like,
and
yo.
take off in them.
I'm like, yo, I'm gonna give you a pack of beats. Just let Quavo and Takeoff hear these beats, because Offset was locked up at the time.
That's
So
crazy.
so these guys, so he played them. He's like, yo, right now, like he was engineering for them and stuff. Like they're boys, you know what I'm saying? You like, help with your boys, you fuck with their music and shit, all that. He played them the beats and they're like, yo, these beats are fire. Like they just made a smash. Keep sending them. And then that's when like they called me like, yo, you need to get down there. They flew me out there. And like my mom was scared again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Flying Dolo to Atlanta, you know? And then that was like a long time ago. They were like staying in the studio on Metropolitan and shit in Atlanta. Like this is like back in the day shit, you know what I'm saying? with P and stuff. So like shout out P, shout out Coach, shout out Migos,
Okay,
all
so
that.
there was all that embracement from
Like
jump,
Rich the
right?
Kid was there, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
I was
Shout
gonna
out
say, who's
Rich.
the fourth Migo? Is it you or Rich the Kid?
Shit, I don't know. I don't know.
The fourth
I think
or the
it's-
fifth,
I think
right?
it's me.
So was it like a real workshop? You guys were just working?
It was a
making records?
workshop. These guys were living in there, like making
The
music.
band though.
You know what I'm saying? Like we made Emmett Smith in there. Like you know what I'm saying? That's when like the dab was like really created. You know what I'm saying? Just
You
like
said Emmett Smith record before Pipe It Up was the birth of the dab.
hell
right?
yeah, you can look it up.
Yeah.
You can look that shit up. That was like what 2012, some 2013, and they're dabbing in that video, so people can't. You know what I'm saying?
You said that was just Quavo excited, right? With
Yeah,
vibes,
he
like
was just excited. That was just like he was emphasizing just like how hard the beat was on when the beat dropped. Just going, oh, you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
that's how it started. It wasn't called the dab.
But how does it go from like working with them at first and then you actually just live with them? Like, what was it? Just the chemistry from jump just felt like I just
Yeah,
need to be
like,
around this to help
just
them
just
build
grinding, you know what I'm saying? Wanting to be around, like really hungry and focused and really being like driven on what I'm trying to do. Like I really wanted this to happen, you know? And I really didn't want anything else. There was no plan B. This was all I wanted to do, you know?
Yeah.
And I had to make it happen. So like, you know, I just kept going down to Atlanta and then I started staying with them, started going on tour with them, started being the sprinter with these guys all the time. Like really built like
Yeah.
a relationship and a bond, like with their families, like everything, you know?
Yeah.
So these are like family to me, you know? Like
Yeah.
my mom knows these guys, their moms know me.
Yeah.
Like it's a real
And that was a tough
real
time because
relationship.
with Offset incarcerated and the drama with the label and stuff like 300, like that was a tough time for them. Like they
Yeah,
had
like-
faced a little bit of
Like
success,
when
but
I
it was
started when I started seeing these guys too, that's like around the time when Offset got out
Mm.
too. So they were starting to get piped up too. And Offset all the time he would look at me and he would always have his mug on. I thought he didn't like me.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, what was
Right.
that adjustment like?
I was
for
like,
him to come-
I don't think he likes me. I don't know. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was just like, I was like more shy at the time. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was like 17 years old. Like,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? No chains, no like, you know what I'm saying?
like,
These
who's
guys.
this saucy white boy? in the
I
corner
was
of the
around
studio?
I was around these guys like, yo, I need some chains, man. I'm gonna be on stage with these guys. I need to go buy some little chains, whatever. I need to do something, you know? Because these guys had me on tour. They were pushing me out on stage. It was my songs and
Yeah.
shit, trying to get me like used to like, yo, this is your song. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
How long
Yeah.
were you staying in Atlanta for?
I would go for like a couple months at a time. We'll stay with them, go back home,
Okay.
go back out there, go back home. But it was like I was out there for minutes at a time, like good time, you know?
Then when did your mom realize, okay, he's okay? Like,
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Because that's when they were on, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to say they were on their bullshit, but, you know, they were in the news for...
1 foot in, 1 foot out.
They were in their news for, like little stuff all the time. So,
Yeah.
like, she's probably worried.
right.
Yeah, yeah.
But, you know, they're good guys. They're my dogs, you know?
But you say your dad believed in you from jump. I know he passed away
Yeah.
a few years ago.
Yeah, RP my pops.
Right.
Yeah, he believed in me from the jump. He was telling me, yo, like, don't quit, keep going, don't stop. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Everyone wants me to go to college, do this, do that. I was going to go to college for business because I like making money. I didn't know how I was gonna do that. I didn't, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Everyone had their little ways of making money back in the day.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I was making a little bit of bread, but like, there was a point where I was like, yo, I gotta stop everything and just start making music because this music's gonna take me a lot farther than anything else would, right?
You didn't want no job.
No, I never had a job.
Never had a job.
Never. I'm left-handed. I told my mom since I was in grade 7 I was different. Like on some real shit. I'm like, yo, mom, I'm different. I'm left-handed. Like, I'm not like all these other kids in class. Like, I can't work a job. I
Yeah.
can't have a boss. Like, I can't do that.
And Quavo's left-handed too, right?
Yeah.
So some-
Me, Quavo, and Barack Obama. I don't know anyone else.
So
50
what's
Cent.
special about being
50 Cent?
left-handed?
Wait,
But
who
he's
else?
left-handed too?
Wait,
50
there's someone
lefty.
else too. Wait, someone
Lucky
just
lefties?
Hey.
someone just told me someone else was left-handed the other day too, and I was like, what?
And it's something like you can't cut paper or something. Like what
I,
does it mean to be
couldn't cut
left-handed?
paper in grade 2. They had to order me left-handed scissors. Cause like no, I'm dead serious. Cause like the way I don't know, the scissors are like opposite ways. So, like, I was like, I remember being in grade 2, like, man, what the fuck? I can't cut
Yeah.
like I can't cut paper and shit. Fuck this shit.
Now you're
Yeah.
getting all the paper.
Exactly. Maybe that's why I didn't want a job.
Yeah.
Like, I
But
can't
music
cut
was
paper.
always home. You said your pop was a guitarist, right?
Yeah.
Did he ever get
Amazing.
placement? Was he?
He just like, you know what I'm saying? Like back in the day, he was like in bands and doing all that shit, you know?
Yeah.
Like unfortunately back in that generation, you know, like people were like kids and stuff are more like independent by the age of 17 on their own and stuff.
Yeah.
Like you guys, you know all that, you know? So
Yeah,
like
yeah.
he didn't really have the opportunity to like chase his dream. He kind of had to like stay focused, just like maintain and like get the money. You know what I'm saying? I was
Yeah,
more
take
little.
care of his family.
Yeah, I was more like I come from a middle class family. I had like so I knew that like that's why I took advantage of my opportunity. I was like, yo, I'm 16 and everyone's going to high school and college and this and that.
Everything's
So
all
instead
planned
of
out for them.
instead
Yeah.
of like going to college for 5 years, coming out and being in debt for 50K, I can literally just make beats and work hard and it's just gonna work. And like I wasn't even thinking about it at that time like that, but like yeah, we went crazy though. I went crazy. Shout out to me.
Well, how did you go from like you had like a Pearl Jam drum kit to like hip hop? I think you said something like you had saw the Game Hated to Love It video, and that impacted you.
That impacted me a lot to like start listening to rap music. I was like, this shit's fire, like you know. And then I started like playing on drums like Travis Barker remixes and shit.
Yeah.
And then that's what kind of got me from drums to electric drums. And then one of my boys introduced me to FL Studio, and I was like shit, but I was like trying to use it and stuff, taught myself how to use it. And that's when I sold my electric drums for an MPK 49 keyboard. And then just started. I didn't even know how to play piano. I was just like, I remember being in music class. They wouldn't let me play the piano. They wanted me to always play the trumpet. So I dropped out of music class in high school. And like, I would always just go on the piano and just like randomly be pressing shit. My boy told me, he's like, yo, you be playing like Beethoven and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was just like randomly hitting shit, not even knowing what I'm hitting, but just like music's patterns to me. Like, so like, just like, I don't know, you just hit the right patterns and you make shit sound good.
And you started isolating yourself too, right? Like you just
Yeah, I
really
had to.
focused on.
People were making fun of me making beats. People kind of like discriminate. Oh, why you can't make rap music? Like, it was like a lot of shit. So I was like, yo, like I just like cut a lot of people off. Stayed out home during Christmas making beats by myself. The whole Christmas break, 2 weeks, come back to school. I was like, yo, I didn't see you or whatever. I was like, yo, making beats, man. I don't know.
But your first placement was with Soulja Boy, right?
My first technical placement was with YB the Rockstar, your boy, the guy from the Bay. He was signed to Akon at the time.
Wow.
That was like, so like people at first were telling me, oh, like wait till your beats are better to like start getting placements. I was like, yo, fuck this shit. I was like 3 months into I was like 3 months into making beats, sending people beats on Twitter, and my beats sounded like shit. Like,
Yeah, I say even the Soulja
like-
Boy that they said that was the first one. You hate that track, right? You think that wasn't like one of your best or just wasn't?
hell no, it was like my 20th beat I made. Not definitely not my best.
Yeah. But were you getting money from that? Like, what was the
Nah,
thing? Like, yeah.
I wasn't getting money for a while. That's
Yeah.
what people gotta understand. People nowadays, like it's like you definitely gotta know your worth, but like you definitely gotta pay your dues and like understand the game, and like you gotta play the game and work and play your cards properly to be able to get in the position to make money. Like
Yeah.
like I feel like I was financially starting to make money probably like a year and a half, 2 years ago. You know what I'm saying? People thought I was rich 5 years ago making Evan Smith.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But like it's just like that's moving with the times. I was like those times I was like jugging Western Union, MoneyGram, like you know what I'm saying? you want to beat for 1,000? Send me 1,000. I wasn't even sending snippets because I found out like people like Lex Luger and these guys were sending people snippets and people just loop the snippet
Yeah,
and use
yeah,
it.
yeah.
So I was like, yo, fuck that. If people want my beats, you gotta send me the money and I'm gonna send you like a couple beats and you can just pick from the beat.
Yeah.
I just wanted the money. Like I was like, yo. Like my Western Union was flagged. They thought I was doing fraud and shit. Like it was like I was like young. I was like, you know what I'm saying? I was always going to the Western Union picking up money. That's how I started everything.
Because you see that now, like a lot of producers are complaining that they're not getting credit or they're not
Or it's
getting
on a
paid.
mixtape.
Yeah,
it's
the
not
paperwork isn't
available.
right.
Yeah.
Hey, back in the day, nobody was getting paid off no mixtape.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know.
So you almost have to pay dues in that sense, and you're
That's what
judging,
I
right?
felt like.
Yeah.
I paid enough dues. Like I did my thing. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So, but yeah, you definitely have to pay your dues. People got. I don't know.
Was Pipe It Up the first one where you felt like that was like
That was probably like the first record. Like I really got
proud of
like, I got,
production?
yeah, and that was like probably like the first record where like I got paid for like a beat from like a major, and then like a record that like made like money because it was like, that was a big. I feel like that record was like a big moment in itself just for music and just like rap in general and just like how the dab blew up and kids were dabbing. Hillary Clinton was dabbing. It went to like football, Cam Newton. It went to like soccer over in Europe. It went to like hockey. It just like it was
Yeah.
just like it was crazy. Like you know what I'm saying? Now like there's like you could dab on Fortnite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's just crazy.
What do you make of the Migos? Like obviously you have respect for them, and it was part of their journey of wanting to be stars. But then Bad and Bougie happens, and then they go to a whole other level. Like what's it like to witness, and how do you feel they've changed or not changed with all the success they've had recently?
I don't think they've changed. I think the money's changed. The jewelry's changed. The jewelry's changed. The car lots have changed.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I don't think they've changed. You know what I'm saying? Those are my dogs, you know?
Yeah.
And just to see that come up was like really good because like around that time, it's like that's when I kind of like I didn't like separate myself from them. Like we're family for life, but like that's like when I kind of like took some steps to the left and been like, yo, like I gotta build like my own.
Yeah.
I like at the end of the day, like I want you to remember me, like Murder Beats. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I started like go do my own thing. That's like when I first came to LA for the first time and stuff. So I was like getting in the studio with different artists. Like I was only in the studio with the Migos like all the time. So like when I
Yeah.
even saw like different artists process in the studio, I was like, the fuck, like why they're writing shit like. You know what I'm saying? The Migos freestyle everything. I didn't know.
She's
people
like,
were-
Quavo got
were
8
sick.
songs done already.
I didn't know people had songwriting. Like I didn't know any of this shit. Like the
Yeah.
Migos like freestyle everything. So just like for me to be coming up in my little lane when I moved off, and then like just to see them come up, and now like
Yeah.
we're both just like on top of shit right now. Like
Yeah.
I just feel like that's the best blessing ever.
You
Why do
never
you
felt like pressure to be like an in-house producer for them or like that whole camp?
Like I kind of was for like
Okay.
a couple years, you know what I'm saying? But then I felt like I wanted to be like more. I wanted just like Murder Beats to be known as Murder Beats
Right.
and stuff.
As
you
your
know?
own entity.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I wondered
Like,
that.
I'm always gonna be attached to the Migos. Like we got motorsport, we got more coming. We're
Mhm.
always making music. They're gonna be all over my album. I'm always gonna be on theirs. I'm always gonna have shit with QC artists. You know what I'm saying? Lil Baby, Yachty, all these
Right.
guys. You know what I'm saying? I'm always gonna
That's
fuck
still
with
home
P
team,
and
yeah.
coaching them. You know?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like QC, like that's like they really did this. They really did this shit. Like I'm
Their
from
growth overall too to see how big
yeah,
they've
like
become. Yeah.
like you know, like my come up story is like very unique in the way that I came up from Canada, like a white boy, trap music, all that shit. But like just for them to be like as successful as they are as an independent label is like a crazy success story too.
yes,
Because
indeed.
then back in the day, everyone was doubting them. The
Mm.
majors didn't want to help them,
They
and like,
battled the majors.
and look
right?
what
yeah.
look what they did now.
yeah,
Like that's crazy, you know.
yeah,
It's hard to do that. It makes everyone think they can do it.
yeah.
Right.
You know.
So what was that transition to going to LA? Like, why did you decide that was the home base? And then who did you first start working with out there that made you feel like this is like the right move?
The first person I started working with in LA, maybe Nipsey Hussle.
Mm.
I hit him up on Twitter like 3 a.m. I was like, yo, got some beats. He was like, yo, pull up. He DM'd me, he's like, yo, pull up a studio tomorrow, 3 p.m. Pulled up a studio. He like ordered pizza. And
Neighborhood
so
Nip.
look at this was like 3.5 years ago.
Mm.
Okay, so we made one song that night, and the song we made that night was grind
Grinding on my
All My
life,
Life.
which
Yeah.
finally made the
That's
album,
my
right?
record.
which came out what like
This year.
4 months
No,
ago.
This year,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So that's why I was like, fuck, I hate this beat. Like, I made the beat in 2014.
But it was part of like a
Wow.
video game or something like that, right? The Tom Clancy video game.
Was it?
Yeah, I think it was. But then it kind of got like remixed or something. along
Yeah,
those
it was
lines,
just
right?
like it was just like a lot.
Remember
like,
he put it on. He put it on
made
streaming and
his
then took it
album.
off.
Yeah,
at first,
it
so-
made his album. And then they told me it didn't make his album.
Mm.
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit. And then it made his album. And then like it didn't make his album. And then like it made his album. And then I was like, fuck, I don't even know if I want this beat to come out.
Right.
Like the song was fire, but I don't know like the beat like. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Because the beat
so
is
old
so
to you 'cause
outdated.
you did
and
it,
they
yeah.
and they even wanted like, yo, like you could touch it up if you want to. I was like, nah, like I don't
It's
even
a
want.
great record.
I don't even want to touch it up. But
Nah,
yeah,
it
you know what
holds
I'm
up.
saying?
It
I
holds
remember
up.
I went in the studio. I was like, yo, Nip, we need to make you some club shit.
Mm.
Mm.
Like, and that's how we made that record too. So that's a whole nother story. But yeah, I don't know who else though I worked with
Yeah.
out here for the first time.
But you like the vibe of it, like, cause your base now is in LA, right?
Yeah,
Like, what's that
yeah.
transition been like?
It's just like it's just good because all the studios are out here. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Everyone comes out here for work. Like I don't go to Atlanta to see the boys anymore. Like I see the Migos out here like probably like a couple times a week, couple times every other week. Like
Yeah.
I see them all the time. Like everyone's out here, you know. Like
Yeah.
I can just go see 2 Chainz, go see anyone from Atlanta out here, right?
Yeah.
So
Do you make records for people in mind? Because like the Travis Scott Butterfly Effect, it sounds like it was tailored for him, or was it that just something you had in the?
it like when I made that beat, it was like I had a couple people in mind, you know. But yeah, Travis. When I sent it to Travis, that was a smash.
Yeah.
Like we knew it was a smash. Like I like something the beat. He was recording that shit. I like FaceTimed him. He was like we were like on FaceTime when he was like finishing the record, like recording and shit in Houston.
Mm.
And he just put that shit out. And that was crazy because like that record got like 12 million views in under 24 hours, or had like some crazy amount of views in like 2 days. And then he's like, they just went with it.
Yeah.
Like they pushed the version off of YouTube. I mean, off of SoundCloud. That was really just my 2-track, and then Travis recording himself,
Yeah,
bouncing it, and
yeah.
putting on the internet, and that was like the record that like got out there. So like we didn't even get really to like fully mix and master the record and like
Yeah,
get like a really like super radio cleaner like
yeah.
mixed version
Right.
and all that shit, you know. So
I saw something when you were saying that you respect Travis, that sonically he's so sound with how he approaches his music, makes
Hell
it very
yeah.
unique, right?
Hell yeah, sonically, I feel like Travis is the best. Like I feel like that's what like Kanye's really good at. Like there's like sonics of music, you know, and like Travis just like with the way he uses auto tune, with the way he uses other plugins, you know what I'm saying? And just like it's just like coming together like with like his sound of beats.
Yeah,
It just sounds like amazing, you know.
yeah.
Right.
And talk about Quavo, because like it seemed like you both had this reputation of being able to work really fast, right? Like, is Quavo, what is it about Quavo that makes him special? And like, why are you guys able to create content so fast, like in the studio?
Quavo's a genius, man. Um, I don't know. I can't really explain. Like there's too much
Yeah.
shit, you know. But yeah, Quavo's just like a great artist. Just go in freestyle, like you know what I mean. Just like play a beat, be like, "Yo, pull that shit up, boom." That's
But
how
he'll
he made
just
Pipe
lay
It
a
Up.
quick melody or something down and make it like a.
That's how he
Yeah.
made Pipe It Up. Like, he's like, "Yo,"
Yeah.
like I like skipped over the beat. He's like, "Wait, go back." I'm like, I didn't even like the beat. I was like, nah. Like he's like, "No, go back to that beat." And he's like, "Pipe it up, pipe it up, pipe it up." I'm like, "Yo, go cut that, go cut that." He pulls up the beat, goes in the booth, like this is like in like the house, you know what I'm saying? Just goes, cuts it, comes to the studio. He's like, "Yo," I felt like this is like how I felt when we made Versace. And I was like, "Yeah, that's a special one right there." Like you just knew it, you know.
Yeah.
If you're saying that, that's special. But yeah, Quavo's really talented, like melodies, rap, everything. I feel like all the Migos are like Takeoff. I feel like he's like one of the best rappers in the game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's like got crazy flows and bars and all that. And Offset's snapping right now too. Offset's going crazy
Yeah.
too. I don't really have a favorite Migo, you know. I know if y'all were gonna ask that question, you know what I'm saying?
No, but they started doing that. Remember, it was like they started loving Offset's. Like Quavo got the first recognition, and then all of a sudden it was like, oh, Offset's guest features are dope, and then but Takeoff's the Quiet Storm. Like nobody.
Yeah, like because like you know when the Migos first came out, it was always like they were like hashtagging Quavo on the hook because it was always Quavo on the hook. And I think Offset's first time he laid a hook was on my beat. It was called Trenches. It was like I think it was Offset, Takeoff, and Skip. And like I made that beat in like the back room on like a cardboard box like in the basement on their old house, and like we made that record right there. And like that was like Offset's like I think Quavo was actually sick at the time or something. That's why he didn't get on it. But like that was Offset's like first hook on the record. Like that's on YouTube and shit too as a music video, and that was hard. Like you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So yeah, now Offset, look at him, he's crushing it, doing a bunch of hooks.
Another Atlanta MC you have a lot of success with is 2 Chainz.
Yeah.
You know, 4 a.m. and It's a Vibe. Like those are the two of the standout records from his last album. Like
Yeah, shout out 2 Chainz, man. We
What's
got some new shit on his album too.
Oh yeah?
Yeah,
Okay.
got some new shit.
But I just saw you recently, like and your mom's in 2 Chainz too, right?
Yeah.
Everybody all together. Like, what was that?
I saw 2 Chainz invited me to his house last week. You know what I'm saying? He explained to me his album and stuff. So I was like, yo, like I'm definitely gonna give you some crazy shit to pipe up this album. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Gave him a pack of beats to sit around and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? And then we ended up making a little play. You know, y'all gonna see what that is. But you know,
Okay.
we got a nice little record on there. But yeah, 2 Chainz. You know, he was I was performing with him. I was opening up for him in Toronto Mother's Day and stuff. So I brought my mom. You know what I'm saying? He's got make his mama proud song.
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I brought my mom backstage, me 2 Chainz. She was happy and stuff. Congratulated him on his proposal and all that shit. So yeah, shout out 2 Chainz.
So working with him with those 2 records, was it like just as seamless as it was with the Migos and these other guys? Like the chemistry is just right.
Yeah, I sent those beats.
Mm.
To him.
Okay.
Actually, I made the It's a Vibe beat here at No Name. Cause that's when I kept seeing all them those Calabasas, OVO, Kanye billboards popping up everywhere. I was like, yo, if they're actually making this album, I'm gonna make some hard, old school like dedication type shit. So that's when I made the beat. You know what I'm saying? I made the beat, and then I just left it with Che Pope, and then Che gave the alley-oop and gave the beat to 2 Chainz. Like, yo, this might be a dope beat for you. And he said it to him. So shout out Che Pope. He's a legend. You know, he's a good mentor to me right now too and shit too. So
Cool.
Absolutely.
I know you got somebody really bossing you around, man. This guy's Asad Khaled, man.
Yeah,
He's
you know,
demanding some
Assad,
beats for
you know,
this
he's
Khaled's record, man. What's going on
yes,
with that, man?
Assad, you know, he's
Boss baby.
definitely a boss baby. You know what I'm saying? He's the baby of all bosses.
He said he
boss of
needs
all
that final
babies.
mix, man. Come
Yeah,
on, Murder.
you know. So yeah, I don't know. Me and Khaled sat down with Assad.
You went to Miami for that, right?
No, I was here.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? We sat down with Assad, you know, talked with Al. Had him on FaceTime. He was giving me some pointers and shit, you know. So shout out to Assad, shout out to Khaled.
But what about your own project? Keep God First 2? Is
Yeah.
that still coming?
Yep. Keep God First was a mixtape that I leaked on the internet. Everyone kind of
Yeah.
got mad at me.
You had a lot of big names on there. That's
Yeah,
why,
yeah.
right? Like that's a label's
it was
nightmare.
successful though. It was kind of successful, and everyone at like after it came out was like didn't really sweat it because like it really like was like I feel like it was like a key moment for everything. Like I had like a couple offsets solo songs on there
Before he was
Bad
really out
Illusion
there like
came out.
that. Yeah,
So I
yeah.
feel like it just everything. Like I had like Playboy Cardi on there before he popped. I had Pressa on there, that Novocaine song that
Yeah.
made him pop from Toronto. I had like a bunch of other songs on there. Just like everything, just like did like. I feel like it was just good for culture. It was like
And
a
you
lot of
just pushed the
artists feel-
button like nobody knew you were doing
I
it.
just
Like
that
you just...
shit. I don't know. Drop that shit on OVO
It was
radio.
go time.
And then
Your manager
put it
Corey
out.
couldn't talk you out of it. It was like go time.
Nah, you know.
But like you mentioned, Pressa, like he's having his moment in Canada, like with that
Yeah.
Novocaine record. Like, what's so special about him, and why do you guys work so well together?
It's just like his voice is dope, and
Yeah.
he has real bars, and like when he spits his music and shit, like he's really like saying bars that like you've never heard a rapper say. Like these aren't like a lot of rappers have recycled bars, and artists will recycle each other's bars and like similar bars and shit. But like I feel like shit Pressa says is like he's really like saying some shit that you've never heard before.
Right.
Or like the way he'll like rap about a certain thing, it's like different than like you normally hear it. So it's like I feel like that's like the wow factor, and his voice and like the way he looks is like he's young and everything.
Right.
There's a couple people I fuck with, you know what I'm saying, like Boogs, Prime Boys, like Lil Gino in Chicago. Like there's a bunch of people, you know. So shout out Pressa.
Well,
But yeah, so Keep God First too. That album, I'm working on it right now. I got a lot of crazy names on it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So this is gonna be like a major album. It's gonna be pushed properly. We're gonna, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna be.
Why keep God first as the theme?
Because well, like I really found God through music. You know what I'm saying? Like at the beginning stages, like that's what like Quavo and these guys like they were always like, yo, like you gotta believe in God, like well, so I like really started to like get faith in God, and that's really how like my career started like I started like get better, and I started seeing like results and like praying for stuff and stuff happening in my life, and that's
Yeah.
what gave me like the faith and like you know what I'm saying, just like really believe in God. So I'd always write "Keep God First" all the time on Twitter at night, every night before I went to bed. After I prayed, say "Keep God First." Well,
Right.
Yeah.
I'd always say that. And then one night I was driving to see my mom, and I was like, yo, it was literally like before I was gonna like drop the mixtape. I was like, yo, I'm just gonna name this shit. I'm gonna name it "Keep God First."
Yeah.
Keep God
It's
First.
such a strong
Like,
statement to
right.
say
It's like
that.
it's something I say all the time. You know what I'm saying? And like me tweeting all the time, it's like I'm not just tweeting it to tweet it. I'm tweeting it to remind you to keep God first too. You know
Yeah,
what
yeah.
I'm saying? And your God could be anyone. Like I'm not saying a certain religion's God either. Like your God can be whoever you want your God to be in any religion, right? So yeah, so I just want to keep God first. And that's why like I want my debut album to be Keep God First too.
Right.
Yeah. No, I think it's interesting because you see so much now in hip hop about people being comfortable enough to talk about vulnerability and depression and sort of mental health, right? And I think that you express like your whole energy is always like you try to stay positive, you're very driven, you go for what you want, you know what I mean? And your faith, like in putting it out there. Like why you think you've been able to be strong mentally and you know, really pay your dues and get yourself to the point that you're at now.
I don't know. My parents made a talented kid. I don't know. I don't know. Like I don't.
No, but this
know.
business can mess
It's
you
just-
up and like, you know.
Yeah, like I
lose
just
your
really had
way.
the tunnel vision. I don't know. I guess I got it from my parents' work ethic, but I really got the tunnel vision, the focus, and just like finding God and just like keeping positive messages and just staying. I found out how to like how I like kind of like isolated myself in high school from people. I really got to like know myself. I feel like you really got to like spend alone time and learn yourself to be able to like fully like manifest like big stuff to happen and like speak things into existence and
Yeah.
control your life and control the universe and stuff, you know, like
Yeah.
I feel like that's a big role in my career. Like even right now, like I'll say something 3 weeks ago and now it's happening right now. Like So it's just like, I don't know, just keeping positive at all times.
You said it's like a producer's period again. You still feel that way?
Yep.
Mm.
I feel like producers are the new artists, 1000%.
Especially from Canada,
Yeah. And like with the new DJs too.
right?
With the new, I don't know, it's just
Yeah.
like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what was it, like 10 years ago? You had like Scott Storch, Timbaland, all these guys, you know, Dr. Dre, all these big guys, and like they were like known in the spotlight. You know what I'm saying? Like everyone, if you were like a music fan, not even just a rap fan, if you were a music fan, like you knew that like Timbaland was working with like Nelly Furtado and like all these people. You know what I'm saying? These crazy records. I feel like that, and it's becoming that again. I feel like there's like you've got like your like all-star lineup of producers that people know
Yeah.
if you listen to music or if you listen to just rap or just, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
in general now. So
I think I saw you with Scott Storch and you got some dogs or something in the
yeah, you know
studio.
what I'm saying, cooking up with his dogs, you know, cooking up. You always gotta cook up with a dog, you know. I'm always cooking up
like
with
real
dogs.
dogs.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
But you had your own DJ set in Hawaii, and you're going on tour with the Endless Summer Tour.
Jeezy tour, right?
Yo, that was the first time I ever DJed in Hawaii too, and I didn't even know what I was doing. I literally learned like the night before in my hotel room, and like I was like learning at sound check, and like when people were like about to like start walking in the club and shit. But yeah, that was crazy.
So you just
I
pressing
like-
the buttons or the
No, I was DJing,
DJing.
like yeah, like I don't know. I'd be procrastinating.
Yeah. I saw Italy too. You was doing a set or something.
Yeah,
right?
I did. I DJ'd the after party at Marcel Berlon's fashion show. He flew me out to like sit
Wait,
front
say
row.
that brand again. It's real
Marcel-
Kanye. I don't know what brand it is.
Yeah.
Say it again.
Marcelo Berlon, he's
So
a
belong.
he's a designer in Milan, Italy,
Mm-hmm.
and he's like a part owner in like Palms Angels, Off White, a bunch of stuff, you know.
Cool.
Shout out Marcelo Berlon. So
Right.
he had me over there, you know what I'm saying? I saw like a bunch of his collabs he had coming out with like the NBA and like a bunch of stuff. You can find his stuff in the stores. Like you can go to
Yeah.
like whatever stores you would shop at, you're gonna see his shit, you know.
Step my game up.
But yeah,
man.
his shit, his shit's fire, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
We got the Murder Belong clothing brand coming soon.
Murder
like,
Belong.
You know what I'm saying? You can see it, Saks, Barney's, all that.
Oh shit!
But so the Jeezy, you're doing a DJ set on the tour?
Yeah. I'm just like,
How many
I'm just
records
like
are you
a
gonna
artist.
play on Murder Beats Records?
I don't know. I like when I DJ sets and stuff, I like to play music I like to listen to. Like if I'm in the whip, I don't listen to my music.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know.
How do you? Most of it's on the radio.
Yeah,
How do you
right.
avoid it? Like
I don't listen to the radio. I listen to playlists.
Your
you know what I'm
publisher
saying?
hates that one.
I listen to. Hey, y'all listen to the radio, you know. What I'm saying? You know, I listen to playlists. You know, like Spotify playlists, Apple playlists, Tidal playlists. You know what I'm saying?
Get them all in, Murder. Get them all in,
Yeah,
baby.
all that. Amazon playlists, Google playlists, YouTube.
A big record on playlist Motorsport. You keep mentioning that. Like I also saw that you said that like a lot of times you're very critical, like you said, of the Nipsey beats that you make. You're your harshest critic, but that was one you felt like that beats hard, like stick
Yeah,
my
like,
chest
I
out.
literally made that on a speaker like this in my boy's condo, the size of like this room. You know what I'm saying? In Toronto. And I named it Sixth Anthem, and that's when Drake was finishing More Life. I sent it to Drake, like, yo, you need to like, I think you need to fuck with this beat. I don't remember exactly what happened, but then I was in New York with the Migos, and I pulled up the beat, and Quavo, he's like, yo, pull this shit up. He went in the booth and we made Motorsport right there on the
You
spot.
just start saying Motorsport, blah blah. The hook.
It was a bit more than just pipe it up, you know. He said Motorsport. He said, you know what I'm saying? He did it though, and like I was like, yo, this shit's fire.
Yeah.
Right.
I had the version with just him on it, and I was like bumping that shit in the whip all the time. Like, man, this shit's fire.
Yeah.
And then when he told me he made his little honcho play, I was like, oh shit, this is about to be a huge.
So what do you
record.
think really ended up being this controversial
Yeah.
honcho play of like Nicki on the record, Cardi on the record, lyrics changing? Like what?
I like it. I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
a fan of Cardi and Nicki. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? I feel like they're both like very
You
talented.
got I Do on her record, on Cardi's
Yeah,
record
you
with
know.
SZA. Yeah.
Right.
And you know, Nicki's album's coming.
Yeah.
You know,
Uh oh.
You on that
You
too?
might be. You know. Never know.
Fans got it. You know what I'm saying? I don't
Stay
know.
tuned.
Yeah.
Murder Beats with the Queen.
But do you get involved with that? Or you
Well, you know,
mixing?
I already did No Frauds. I did No Frauds.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right. Right.
And what else? Is there anything else? Oh yeah, no, Motorsport.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, No Frauds was like pretty big. That I feel like that was like a moment too. I feel
Yeah,
I feel like a
for
lot of
sure.
my records are like moments. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
Like No Frauds was like a moment. Like it was like
Her big
it was like-
comeback.
it
Her
was like-
back
it
with
was like
Drake and
Young
Wayne.
Money,
Yeah.
Young Money all back together. Like you know what I'm saying? So
Reunion.
and Motorsport, that's like a big moment for
Yeah.
music. Like the Migos getting Nicki Minaj and Cardi B on the same record at like a controversial time
Yeah.
where I feel like the blogs and stuff were kind of like amping it up to
Yeah.
like be
Yeah.
more than what it was, you know what I'm saying? But like it's like that's like an amazing record, you
Yeah.
know. It was very like I feel like that was like it was like that like like all the guys like that record too, but it was also like a female driven record too because they were both on it.
Yeah, and they both go in at the
Yeah,
final
you know,
version. They're
so-
both rapping.
So it's awesome. And then this like after that, then having Nice for What, which is another female record, you know, like the girls definitely liking Murder Beats' music.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, even No Shopping had the controversy because it was like, is Drake talking about Joe Budden on that record? Like,
he probably was.
yeah. No, but I'm saying you end up being part of these records that are like can be controversial,
Yeah.
but also just are big cultural moments.
Yeah.
But do you, when you make the beat, is it like it's almost like are you once you get the beat and it's layered down, are you involved with that? Are you mixing like everything to the end, or is it like one certain point is out of your hands, like in terms of a record like that?
Well, a mix is never out of my hands. I usually tell engineers now not even to touch my beats.
Mhm.
Cause like I feel like I have like such like you know like when my beat comes on, I'm gonna have the hardest
Those drums
kick.
got to be right,
Like
baby.
Motorsport was the hardest hitting song at Coachella this year.
Mm.
Like I know for
Yeah.
a fact. I didn't even go. I know that. I probably heard the shit from the studio here. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like I just know like how my drums hit, and like a lot of stuff nowadays. Like the engineers are just like they're not even really like mixing down my records. I'm telling them, yo, mix that shit on a 2-track. Like you didn't really need to touch the shit. You're gonna fuck it up. half the time when people be mixing my shit, it's just like when I hear, I'm just like, what the like you know they just fucked up my whole mix.
Mm.
Yeah.
Like I feel like the way I mix music, it's like it's not technically correct. Like how like you go to school and be like, oh, like this is how you're supposed to mix. Like your levels are supposed to be here and here and here and here. I crank my drums in a way where it's just like it's not supposed to be like that, but like that's what makes me me.
Mm.
And, you know?
Yeah, like it could be off, but it's right to you, and
Yeah.
and it's and different sounds in drum, different snares, and different.
And that's
break it
how
down.
like a lot of the goats are. Like you know what I'm saying? Like the way like Boy Wonder's drums are, the way like Mike Dean's synths
Yeah.
are, the way like
Even going back to
DJ
RZA,
Khaled.
RZA and all that.
yeah, and even talking like DJ Khaled, like he's like we had a whole conversation about records and stuff. He's like, you know, my records are always like they're always like bright, like and like you know what I'm saying that way. And my records are always like heavy, drums hard, like you know what I'm saying, hi hat smacking you in the face, all that.
Right.
Yeah.
Even though you like to be the center of attention with the controversy with the motorsport and you know the No Shopping, I saw that you tweet that you've seen a lot of producers and artists subtweeting each other in 2018. You said these motherfuckers are turning into IG hoes.
Hey man, people gotta stop subtweeting all that shit, man. I don't know. I don't know. Everyone just has to keep positive vibes, man. You
Right.
know, it's
Yeah.
like why people like you see on the internet, everyone's beefing each other and stuff.
Mm.
It's like, I don't know. Just stay out of all that shit.
Right.
But how do you say so? Again, like it just seems like you seem very centered. Like, do you?
Cause
Do you
I'm
mind-
focused on myself. Like,
Yeah.
like I don't know. Like sometimes you be like, oh shit, what's this guy doing? Oh shit, this guy's popping right now. Like yo, like I'm trying to like people be like, oh, I gotta like do what he's doing or like do something better than him. Like I'm just in my own lane. I'm
Mm.
focused on myself.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? I definitely listen to music. I'm a fan of other producers. I'm a fan of other rappers. I'm a fan of other music. You know what I'm saying? Like some of my favorite producers, like Southside, Wheezy's, like all these guys. Like these, like I fuck with a lot of producers. You know,
Right.
Metro's out here crushing it. Like
Yeah.
you know, but I really like to just focus on myself, stay in my own lane, keep that tunnel vision on where I gotta go, cause I'm creating my own legacy, right?
Yeah.
Ain't no one's gonna look out for you like yourself
Right.
at the end of the day.
And you're open to collaborations. It seems like that happens a lot in Canada. Like, you got Boy Wonder work with everybody. Vinyls is work with this person. Like,
But you say you're selective though, right? Like Q
Yeah,
Beats is
yeah.
mostly the guy you do
Mhm.
a lot of stuff with. Right?
Yeah, cause like it's organic. Like they hit me up a couple years ago on Instagram, and then like I was like, yo, send me some shit, you know. But like a lot of the stuff, like when I like collaborate with producers like Scott Storch and stuff, like it's really organic. Like I'll meet him. I'll meet him like in the studio somewhere. Like when we were finishing up like Birds, this Travis Scott album,
Mhm.
he like popped by the studio or whatever, and like I met him for the first time. I was like, yo, like let's link up. Like I like fucking with like the OGs and stuff, you know. Like
Yeah.
I like on like my 21st birthday out here, I worked with like DJ Paul.
mm.
Like you know what I'm saying? Like I like doing shit like that. Like
Yeah.
I feel like it's very special. I'm trying to think if there's any other older producers I worked with. I think there has, but I don't
Yeah.
remember.
What do you think of the whole cultural divide, like you mentioned earlier? Like even someone like Smoke Perp, he's kind of affiliated, like him and Pump, with the whole like fuck J. Cole and that whole thing in 1985.
That's
and all
just
that, like-
squashed now though. I thought
Yeah, no, yeah. But what's your take on that? Like, do you think it's just a generational thing? Like, why do you think that sometimes there's that clash of like the new guard not necessarily always paying respect to the artists before them?
Maybe someone thought the sub rap line shot was against them.
Hmm.
Maybe they thought the shoe fit. I don't know.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? That's just how it goes, right? There's always gonna be beef, and I feel like in rap music, especially in urban music, like that's just part of the culture of rap.
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
you need beefs here and there. You
Right.
need controversy, right? It's just another thing to rap about. Instead of rapping about cars, bitches, drugs, money, get at someone's neck. I don't know.
Speaking of ladies, like you can even create with the ladies in the studio in the party. Like 1, 2, 3, you literally had a party in the studio,
Yeah.
and you like wanted to impress everybody. And you
Yeah, I
just
be showing
made-
out sometimes. Sometimes I like it to be just like me and my boys in the studio, or like just me cooking up or whatever. But like sometimes, yeah, just get everyone in the studio and then just like cook some shit up on the spot.
Mm.
I like to test myself.
Is that how it is when we work with Party Next Door? Is it that same similar vibe?
No, it's more like just like us,
Okay.
like together. You know what I'm saying? Cooking up and stuff. I don't think we've ever had like a session where it's just like been like a bunch of people and stuff. Party's definitely like very talented artist. Definitely one of the most talented artists ever.
You said
I
him
think
and
of this-
Quavo are like the
right.
most.
Of this generation, I think Party's definitely like one of the best. You know, like his pen game's crazy. Like no one can touch his pen.
I like how you make these definitive statements.
You got to. I'm just like, you know, I'm putting it out there because I don't know if people have talked about this before.
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay, definitive statements. What do you? Because you are critical in your catalog. What do you think are your top 5 productions? Can you
nice for
say?
what?
Nice for what? 4 weeks in a row.
Definitely nice for what?
Does it feel different to have a number 1 record? Like, what is that? Does that?
Honestly, I thought it was gonna, but then when I woke up, no, it's not. I don't know. That's just me though. I'm the type of person that like I'm never satisfied.
Yeah.
Like I'm just never satisfied. Like I'll want something to happen. I'll know I got a big thing happening, and then when it comes up, I'm just like, all right, like what's next?
Yeah.
Right.
Like I feel like that's what's gonna keep my longevity going and keep me out here for a long time. Like I'm like a different person. The way I think about stuff's a lot different.
You mad Gambino?
Like a lot of people like
That's right.
a lot of people, if they got number 1, they go out celebrate 20 days or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Maybe take a break. Like my one boy told me, he's like, oh, like if this song goes number 1, like I think you're gonna like take a break. Like I'm just gonna be like, what? Like I don't take fucking breaks, dog. I'm never gonna take a break. Like you know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. Definitely blessed to have a number 1 though. I was definitely waiting on it.
Yeah.
Cause the Migos got one. I was like, I
the
got my
Bamboozle.
Grammy nom before they did, but then they got their number 1 before I did. So I was like, damn, I need to get my number 1.
What was the Grammy nom on?
Just views.
Oh, views in general. Yeah, yeah.
Album of the year, rap album of the year, whatever.
Okay, so Nice for What's definitely one of your top 5s.
Yeah. What have I produced? Motorsport. I
Mhm.
feel like that's like a crazy beat.
Yeah.
Portland. That beat's crazy.
Another double platinum, triple
Right.
platinum, one of
Yeah.
those.
Flutes.
Maybe it's a vibe for
Mm.
how
Mhm.
different it is. I'm definitely missing something. I know 1, 2, 3. The 1, 2, 3 smoke,
Smoke
purple.
Purple.
Yeah, that beat's fire. That's 5. But then I'd have to go like With You too.
Yeah.
That's just like different record for me.
Right.
Honestly, I like the No Frost beat too. I like
Yeah.
all my beats.
Yeah.
They're,
like
except
picking
except
children.
the first ones.
Yeah.
Like, except
Yeah,
those
what was the
first-
Soldier Boy song? Not gonna
I
tell
don't
us,
even
right?
know.
Doesn't exist.
I don't
Well, like
even
what Elliot
know.
was alluding to with Childish Gambino now number 1. Were you upset about that?
Nah, I woke up. I was like, yeah, you know, he did his thing.
Right.
He's got a
Yeah.
very like his record like impacting the world, and like you know that's what I like to see.
Mm.
I like to see music impact the world and like wake people up and change stuff. You know, like look at Meek, how he got out of jail, and how he's talking, how he's changing the world. Like that's what
Yeah.
that's what needs to come out of music. All the positive stuff. That's all the positive stuff coming out of music,
Mm.
right? That's what you want to see.
Right.
That's what I want to see at least.
Yeah. It
So I
seems like
can't-
you're very aware of like everything going on in the game, like
Yep.
and say the thing. Like, do you think that's one
As
of the
much as I
advantages-
see, like I don't watch the news and shit, but
No, but
I'll
in,
definitely watch an interview.
yeah,
You know, like I don't watch the news about like if I'm trying to be like, oh, like what's up, go on YouTube, watch like Breakfast Club interview, watch this, watch
Yeah.
that. You know, watch Elliot Wilson riding around Bentley with Rich the Kid. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
that was
I
a scary experience, Murder
wa-
Beats.
Why?
I did a lot of texting. I didn't know what was going on. Like, I don't know. I
That's
think he was
like-
having a bad day, but no. But do you think that's important?
Shout out my dog Rich too. He came
Shout out
all
Rich.
like, you know what I'm saying?
right? That's what I'm saying.
I
You
met-
guys are like
I-
in
I-
the trap
I met-
with the
yeah,
Migos.
man. I was with him from day one. He's been finessing his way to the top,
yeah.
and
kids.
I'm very happy for him. You know, shout out Rich the Kid.
Right.
But do you draw
Nah.
inspiration from that? Like, how do you stay so inspired? Like to just cook me up 20 beats? Like,
You gotta
how do you
find
stay
your,
so driven?
you just gotta find the balance and like just like not get lost in the sauce, especially being out in LA. Like I used to always like every day I'd be cooking up like 15 beats a day and shit. You know, now it's like I'll cook up like 10 beats, like chill for like 3 days, go back to the studio. Like it's like fun balance. I play a lot of video games. That's a good balance, you know.
Mm.
And then if we need to take a break, chill with some girls, go out, have fun.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Maybe go back to Toronto, see my family, like get grounded again, then come back out here.
Yeah.
Cause at first I thought it was like when I was out in LA, I was getting inspired. Cause I used to go to I used to fly from Canada to come out here for like a month or two and then go back home. So I used to thought like coming out here was inspiring me to make music. But then I really found out, before I moved out here, I found out going home and getting grounded,
Mm.
that's what was inspiring me to come out here and make music.
Mm.
So then
That balance.
So then when I found that out, like later in like the progression, and then when I transitioned to moving out here, like when I actually found out being home and grounding myself, that was inspiring me to make music. And then I moved out here, so I was out here for good. I kind of had to like find the balance and like find a way to inspire myself to make music more out here. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause it's tricky. You know what I'm saying? Like everyone's got their own personal problems, life problems going on and stuff. You know?
Yeah.
Like no, you know what I'm saying? Everyone sees what's going on the gram and like what people are tweeting and seeing them and this and that. They don't see the negatives in lives. Like
Yeah.
we're all human too. Like I
Yeah.
believe, like you believe, like you know what I'm saying. People sometimes think these rappers are like robots and they think Gucci's a real clone and shit.
Gucci Mane. Shout out
Like-
Gucci Mane.
You know what I'm saying? But Gucci bleeds like I bleed. Like you know what I'm saying? Like we're all the same people. We're just like the fans are just like us. We're just like the fans. Like you know.
Do you
Yeah.
dig for samples or do you?
Honestly, recently now I've been definitely getting way more creative with music
Mm.
because like it's not about like publishing and money to make and how many people are on a beat and doing a beat myself to make money. It's like, yo, I'm trying to make the biggest records I can make, and I'm trying to make records that are going to be remembered
Mm.
because I feel like a lot of music nowadays is not going to be remembered, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I felt like me and Drake both agreed and really felt really good about this Nice Foot record. 'Cause I feel like this is like a class, like
Yeah.
it was like an instant class. Like the first time you hear it, you're like, oh
Yeah.
shit, like
I mean, straight to number one. That's the
people
thing,
were
too.
like just
yeah.
like that record was crazy. We were in New York too. At the end of the press run, me and Smoke Perp, when it dropped in the club. So like
Mm.
we went to One Oak the night it dropped, and Chase B was DJing.
Wow.
Travis is DJing. He's from New Orleans, so he was like he
Playing it
played this shit
87
30.
times.
Yeah, he played this shit 30 times. I was like, we literally heard this shit all night, and he came up to me. He's like, man, this is such a big moment for the city and stuff. You know, I've never been to New Orleans, so I'm trying to go.
Yeah.
ASAP.
Oh, you be treated like a king now.
Real.
I'm trying to go out
King
there and do
Murder.
some
Essence
festivals.
Fest.
You know what I'm saying?
You grind up on an auntie or something at Essence
Catch a
Fest.
bubble.
There you go.
Not with an anti though.
Oh
Word up.
man, this is fun, man. So you just
Absolutely.
look out for you Jeezy tour
Yeah, the G-Eazy tour.
and a
definitely.
hell of a
And
lot of
listen,
placements we can't really officially speak on. But
upcoming shit. I always got shit popping, you know. And even if I don't, I might leak some shit.
Why isn't Novocaine available on streaming services? Oppressor.
Because I leaked that whole album,
you're a
And-
leaker, man.
and
this fucking
yeah,
leaker.
it all got taken down.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure that's why.
So see, battle the labels at times. The labels don't always
I don't-
love
I
you.
don't even know. They love me now though. they love me now.
Are you staying like this indie kind of entity right now? Or are you like, I know the labels are throwing bags at you.
Yeah, I don't know. There's some stuff behind the scenes going
Oh,
on that's
shit.
gonna be announced soon. You guys
Uh-oh.
might have to come back next couple weeks maybe.
Okay.
Well, you said that. I think you said. I mean, obviously, you're having a great year, 2018. But I saw something where you said something about 2017. You had learned a lot of life lessons, and
Yeah, I've definitely been learning a lot of lessons the last couple years,
Yeah,
but just like negative stuff and positive stuff, you know.
yeah. So how are you adjusting to the success and fame, and a certain level of fame? Like, it seems like you're putting yourself out there even more and more. Like, is that
I'm never
become comfortable
satisfied.
with that? Yeah.
It's just I don't know. That's something about me. Everyone around me knows that too. It's just something I don't know. I don't get caught up in this shit. I just gotta keep going. And now it's like you get to the top, and you get a number one, and you get all this stuff going on. You gotta find like new ways to motivate you and new stuff. Like I'm trying to do like Murder Sauce, real deal, like Murder Sauce hot sauce, Murder Sauce bar. Like I'm trying to do like, you know what I'm saying? I'm getting on my merch finally. Like I'm
Yeah.
like finding like different ways to inspire myself and motivate myself to keep going. You know, so
Well, keep going,
That's
Murder
hard.
Man. We respect it, man.
Yeah,
Definitely got a
appreciate it.
Need a
unique
bottle of
sound.
that murder sauce.
trust me, yo, I love barbecue sauce too and shit. So my shit's gonna be the best. I'm gonna have the most fire sauce, hot sauce, all that.
That's a great brand of murder sauce. Pass the murder sauce.
you see the chef, you know what I'm saying?
Ah.
Chef Murder, you know what I'm saying? So I can only cook like omelets and shit, but yeah, you know what I'm saying? I have some fire sauce, you know?
Making
Definitely.
those fire beats
Word
too,
up.
man. Murder, thank you, brother. Murder beats,
y'all.
baby.
Appreciate
Rap Radar Podcast.
Yeah.
Rap Radar, man. You know what I'm saying? Young
We
Murder
out.
checking out. Keep Got First 2 on the way.
Woo.